Welcome back to Clubhouse Chronicles, the place where the central Illinois music scene gets loud, proud, and unfiltered. I'm Twitt, your host with the most radio, spinning you the stories, the sounds, and the struggles of the bands that are making waves right here in your backyard. Clubhouse Chronicles is the official podcast of Broken Record Music Club, your favorite independent record label, bringing you music for whatever you are going through. With that, let's buckle on up because this isn't just a podcast. This is your front row ticket to the heart of your indie music scene. And today we're doing something way different. We're doing it fucking live. Right now I'm sitting with Effy Ferreira.
I prefer Effy Peach. Effy Ferreira is very
Effy Peach. We're sitting here with Effy Peach of Screaming Mei Mei's.
Hi girlies.
A fashion, music, and community business
Connoisseur.
Yeah, she does it all. But we're going to talk all about the amazing stuff that Effy does in the community for bands and her journey as a fashionista, I want to say. I don't think that's very far off of how to describe Effy. So, yeah, we're doing it live. There's very minimal scripting here. Effy doesn't know any questions that she might get asked. So we're just going to fucking rock. And are you ready to go, Effy?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Clubhouse, by the way. Is
it like Clubhouse? Is like what kind of Clubhouse, or is it like Treehouse? Because I'm envisioning a Treehouse. Like, I don't know if you've seen Jack with Robin Williams. I'm picturing like the Treehouse.
Okay.
And, like, who's the guy that like would put the things in the drink? The Jello man? Bill Cosby.
Oh,
have you seen Jack?
I have not.
Okay, well, it's a movie with Robin Williams, and Bill Cosby is his like counselor, and he's somebody that ages like he looks like a 40-year-old man, but he's actually like 10. And there's this scene where they're in a tree house, and they bring Bill Cosby up, and they're like making him eat like slug. I don't know. It's really sweet and cute and endearing, but you don't know.
Hey, if that's how you think of it as a treehouse, then that's open for your interpretation. There's no official clubhouse like location yet, so whatever your little heart desires, Effy, it can be.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem. Well, thank you for agreeing to be on here. Since we're doing everything off the cuff, this was planned like midweek this week that Effy would come on, so
like
we are.
Ago?
Yeah, so we just threw it together because Effy and Broken Record Music Club are collabing on some stuff, but we may or may not get into it. I don't know. I think it should be kept a secret. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a pretty I keep things very close, and then I kind of just like here this is, and everybody's like, you weren't telling anybody about this, but that's kind of how I like it. I like things to be a secret.
Yeah, so we'll talk about what Effy does with Screaming Mei Mei's in this episode, and we're just going to kind of dive into it. For those of you that don't know, Screaming Mei Mei's is all about fashion. And my initial question was, Effy, how did you first get into fashion? Did it start at a young age, or was it kind of something that you grew into? Or
well, I did this project when I was in like first or second grade. It was an all about me board, and every month or every week or something, it was a new student, and you got to just be like, oh, what's your favorite movie? What do you want to be? And when I said what I wanted to be, I said I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I'm going to be so honest, I don't know where that came from. I loved That's So Raven, and she was a fashion designer, so I don't know if it stemmed from that, but that's what I always wanted to do. I would like safety pin together like little fabric scraps. I remember I made this like sequin shirt. I would always like tie my shirts up and do fun little things. So I've always wanted to do something in that realm for sure.
I remember on my like preschool one, I said firefighter, and it was just because it had like firefighters and all the kid cartoons, they had a Dalmatian. And I thought that was the coolest thing. Not fighting fires, just the Dalmatian part. In our conversation earlier this week, you said you were from Florida, and you also mentioned that you used to be like really big into reselling vintage. So how did you get into that?
Oh gosh. Let me think for a second because I don't really remember how it came to be that I was selling it. I mean, there is a huge community in St. Petersburg for reselling and vintage and things of that nature. So I think maybe it was kind of just like that's what was going on, but I've always thrifted everything. I mean, everything. Everything pretty much that you see behind me has been thrifted, and I love vintage. I love everything. Like I will pick something out of the dumpster and it'll be like in my house. Like I do not care. So I think thrifting a lot and buying a lot of vintage and finding things that are worth money, it kind of just like kind of evolved. It was an evolution, so to speak.
How did that like play a part in your journey to owning your own business, like making you want to take that leap to start Screaming Mei Mei's? Like, were you missing something and that's why you started Screaming Mei Mei's, or how did all of that stuff impact your views on fashion?
Well, I think how like doing the reselling helped me the most was learning how to do markets. That is what that taught me the most, and especially like e-commerce and things of that nature. There's a spot that is called Curated Heat in St. Pete, and they do all things vintage and kind of like a hype beast sort of thing. I don't know if that like if I can say hype beast. I don't know if that's they helped me a lot. They really taught me how I should be pricing things, how to set up a clothing rack, like, and they supported me so much with that. And that is like really, I think, where I learned that's what I took the most from that was doing the markets and selling and pricing and the community that there is in that. Like I would spend like 5 hours at the Goodwill bins hanging out with these people in this community, and it was so much fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. And going to the bins, it helped me find like a lot of blanks. So I just started like buying a ton of blanks, and it kind of went from there. I don't know. I feel like there's like different sector, like Screaming Mei Mei's has went through like different evolutions where first it was mainly the vintage, but I've always wanted, again, like I said, to make clothes, but now I'm like gearing more towards music. So there's like so many different, like, I don't know how you would like format a question about it, but it's like, it's went through so many different, because it was never like supposed to be about music. It's just kind of evolved to that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what would you say like made it get to that point? Like what made you want to combine your passion for music and your passion for fashion? Look at me rhyming.
And it's that passion for fashion is Bratz.
There you go.
Bratz. Also Bratz, they inspired me so much when I was a kid. I was like, I want that outfit. Like, how do I get that outfit, and what do I have to do to get it? Like, but how that kind of started was in 2021 in St. Pete. I had this friend introduce me to house shows, and that, I mean, that was kind of that. Like, I started going to house shows, and it literally changed my life. And over the past year and a half that I've been living in Illinois, I just felt such a draw to start documenting everything and really immerse myself in the scene. And I think that's kind of how that came about, if that makes sense. I've always been interested in music. I've always loved music and art. And I feel like it's just the perfect, what would you say?
Combination
there.
Perfect combination. I agree. I think that especially some of the stuff that you've done like with Blind Baby, which we'll get into, it's encapsulates what DIY music is, right? You made the move up to Illinois. How was that? I'm sure that was kind of difficult going from St. Pete, where you're very familiar with your surroundings, to being in Blono and you're trying to adapt.
Honestly, I think I adapt to change pretty well. Some might say otherwise, but I think I did a fairly decent job of like integrating myself into what I wanted to do and like the communities that I wanted to be a part of, because I had already known of Marble Teeth and love Marble Teeth. Hey. Um and I saw that they were doing a show here in Bloomington, and I had already like lived here for maybe like a month, and I was like, I'm going to that. And from there I just like looked through all of his following and like the flyers, and I just started following everybody in Bloomington to see what I can do. And that's how I found out about Monarch. They were at a local music venue, Monarch, and that was really how I got in, like I felt a lot more like at home and like I had a community, because I was like, oh, this is happening here. Oh, okay, that changes things, because I didn't know what I was so concerned that there would be no music scene or art scene here, and my mind was blown, to say the least.
In the best way possible, really. Like, it's so deep in Bloomington Normal, and I mean, Champagne's not very far away, and Peoria's not super far away, and they're all thriving regular, like all the time. It's really crazy to see the ecosystem just keep putting out new bands that everyone on campus seems to enjoy. I wanted to kind of take a step back here because I never asked you, how would you define your own style?
Like
Like,
my own.
as, yeah, your own style, and then also like the style that you try to, and the things you try to make.
I really feel like whatever I feel comfortable in, that's what I'm going to wear. I feel like I don't really identify very much with the things that I make. And just in terms of my own self-expression, like again, just myself, comfortable, whatever. Literally sometimes I don't ever wear pink though. Pink and red are a no-go for me. So you'll probably never see that in Screaming Mei Mei's, because I just do not like those colors, or gold. So you'll never see me wearing those, but everything else, nothing is off limits except for that. Oh, with Screaming Mei Mei's, I want it to be like, I don't know, just everything. I want it to be everything and anything. And I see a lot of people just like, and I get really inspired by it, like what they're wearing. I love patchwork. I love like raunchy sayings. I love black and white, just things of that nature. I don't really think I could describe it in just in like a couple words. DIY, local, and sustainable, upcycled. That's like the best way, because nothing is off limits with me.
What would you say the main reason you started Screaming Mei Mei's is, just in general? Like, what made you decide, like, hey, I'm gonna fucking do this? Was there a point like that, or was it just something that like you've always done, but you finally put a name on it?
Well, growing up, I thrifted everything, like I said, and I really hated it because I wanted Heelys and I wanted like a Hurley like sweater. Like I wanted all the things, Aeropostale. Like I wanted all that, but I had a single mother and she was supporting two children on her own. So we thrifted everything. And again, I was super embarrassed about it. Even though I had cool stuff, we always found really cute and cool stuff. I was like, fuck, man, like I want those Heelys. Like I like what's going on? Like I need like some new Skechers. Like it was rough. So my mom was like, if you ever get embarrassed and if somebody ever asks you where you got your clothes, just always tell them you got it from Screaming Mei Mei's. So that's where that came from. And when it was probably about 2020, I just started. I actually have it. I can show you. It's up right here. Yes. I was supposed to be mailing this to my friend in St. Pete, but I still haven't. So here in 2020, I started making this. And at the time I went by Lil Sad Baby. So you might see that a lot, but I started making this. And there's beading, patchwork, it's all hand sewn. And This was my first piece really ever that I made. And at that point on, like, I had made this and I was like, oh, I want to keep making stuff. I want to keep doing this. So after that, I really feel like I like buckled down and was like, I'm gonna do this. I don't know what it's gonna look like or what it's gonna be or if I'm gonna sell anything or if it's just gonna be like a creative outlet. I'm gonna do it.
That's such an awesome story. Your mom telling you just say it's from Screaming Mei Mei's, and now it's your actual like business. I think that's so cool. That's so fucking sweet. And that piece is really cool too. It's a shame that she hasn't gotten it yet.
No, like it's so funny to look at this and see how I've evolved as a creator. Because if you remember, like a few minutes ago, I was like, I will never do pink or red.
Mhm.
This is literally like all pink, and it's things that I just don't even really identify with anymore. And it's just like, it's just funny to look at and like see.
See the growth.
Yeah.
How has that process been? Like, what kind of things have influenced your tastes now? Like you were just saying, like you and like if you notice that I won't wear pink, like
Yeah.
I put pink in this. So obviously at one point you were okay with putting pink in your work. Now, as you've grown as a creative, you've moved away from that. But what would you say has caused those shifts? Like what influences have you had over the past couple of years, and what have you noticed about your growth as a creator in general in your stylistic choices when making these pieces?
That's a hard question. I think that's why my brain like halted for a second because I was like,
Down.
that's really thought provoking. I think mainly with the pink and red thing, it just doesn't look good on me. So sorry to everybody that likes pink and red. I don't. That's in that part. That is like I just don't look good in it. So that's why I don't use it.
You're out of luck.
SOL. Gold, never. But I think also like it's just evolved a lot based on the music that I have listened to because I am very inspired. I think most people are by the media that I'm consuming and kind of what I'm seeing. And I'm very inspired by like other artists and I stay on Pinterest. I stay on Pinterest because I just love to see like photo shoots, runway. So I think just like as I grow and as my brain has developed finally, it like was just a huge shift in everything. And because a couple years ago I wanted it to be just whatever. Like I didn't care what I was making. It was just kind of like, oh, I'll do this, and I didn't whatever. And now I think a huge focus for me is cohesion. And I want things to make sense and to look good and to be like very streamlined. So I think that's been the biggest part is the music and cohesion. As lame as that sounds.
No, I mean it's a very well spoken answer, I think, because I mean let's go to your latest work. It was with Blind Baby for their 1-year anniversary. You did a whole line of custom items for sale at their show, and you did so well. I think you said you had one piece left, and I was, as someone who was sitting next to you selling merch, I was so envious. I'm just like, maybe I could sell maybe one thing, maybe two, but no, they're all coming to the Blind Baby booth, and for obvious reason, like all of it is super custom, and it was a night dedicated to the band. But that cohesion, like every single piece matched Blind Baby and what they represented, and it was really cool because I've never seen that before for at least a band in the scene. How did that collaboration kind of come about?
It's kind of funny. I was doing a show at the Bone Room and I met with the people that were running it just to kind of be like, hey, I want to vend. This is my idea. Can I do this? And they were like, we literally don't care. Do whatever you want to do. And I love to hear that, don't we, folks? And Eli from Blind Baby is a part of that group I'm assuming because he was there. I didn't ask too many questions. I just showed up and was like, hey. And he came up to me afterwards and was like, I love this shirt. Do you want to make something with Blind Baby, like custom? And they didn't really ask for much. They were kind of just like, oh, just like a couple things, like 1 year of Blind Baby. These are some things that we'd like to say. We have a 1 year show coming up in a week. So I did all of that in just a little over a week, maybe like 10 days. And I just locked in. And I'm really happy I did because I'm really proud of everything. And I know that they really enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed working with them. And I love Blind Baby. So it was a lot of fun. It was like a dream come true.
So what is that process like for you? So you get this request from them and you got the sayings and stuff. Then where does your head go creatively? Like, how do you start creating the ideas for the pieces?
It's so hard to put into words because there is really no creative process for me. I will say that I make almost everything in my bed and on my floor hunched. That's why I'm like hunchback, because I'm literally constantly like crafting. And I think the biggest thing for me is I already envision everything in my head like immediately, like boom. When they were like, can you do this? My mind was already just like racing. But my favorite thing to do is to go to the thrift store and see what I can find, because if I find a piece that I'm like, oh, this is perfect, I can I immediately see it when I find a piece. And I know it sounds awful, but I really do not put that much thought into anything, because if I do, then it won't be authentic to me if I'm thinking too much about it. Like everything I do, if I start a piece, I have to finish it then, like, because everything is just like, I don't know. I kind of just like black out, I think.
The creative blackout.
Sometimes I'll after being hunched on my floor, I'll like get up and I'm like, it's been 6 hours and I'm like, I've just been like working, and I don't even realize like it's now dark out. I've been working in the dark for 3 hours, like, and I have no idea where I'm at, what day it is, like, but I love that. It's so special to me.
That creative lock-in is something different. Like when nothing can bother you outside of what you're focusing on.
Mm-mm.
So you did this awesome thing with Blind Baby. We have a project coming up we're not going to speak on, but it's coming soon. What do you see the future of Screaming Mei Mei's becoming? Like, what do you want to do more of as a creative?
I think the biggest thing is creating more community, accessibility, and just working with bands. That's my biggest thing, because I feel like I'm like really combining, thank you for reminding me of that word exists, combining my two passions. And I really want to get a lot more into working with bands, creating like one of a kind, really cool pieces. I want to keep doing that. And I would love to have my own space for bands to come and do their thing, for me to do my thing. I'd love to work with other vendors and like creatives and set up markets. I'd love to do a fashion show. Like I have a lot of very big ideas, and they're all kind of just rolling around, and I'd love to be able to do all of them. But for right now, just keep doing what I'm doing, because I do enjoy what I'm doing right now, and I just want to do more of it and at a larger scale, I think. And I just want to keep doing everything that's authentic to me. The idea of other people being a part of it really scares me, and collaborating with people does frighten me a little bit, just because I'm so like I said, for 6 hours I like am hunched over and I'm creating and I'm doing things, and the idea of having other people to kind of be a part of that, it does scare me. But I like to be a little afraid in things, and I don't know, just more of this and just more bands. I think I want more bands to also see the potential in the things, because like you said, like I don't think a lot of bands will make a shirt that say like, this is who we are. And that's great and fun. And I have so many of them. But it's so cool when you are interested in fashion and you go to something and you're like, oh, I already have a billion t-shirts that say, hey, this is who I am. But you can go and be like, oh, this pair of pants is really cool. And it's not like anything ever. And I can wear it and it's not just like, oh, this is this. But some sense.
Oh no, it does, because I had that same reaction, like seeing your setup at the castle for Blind Baby. I was like, damn, like I just don't fit in regular sizes, so it's hard for me to like find stuff that fits. But I was like, damn, whoever like picks this stuff out is extremely lucky to get one of a kind pieces that they can wear like this. And it, yeah, sure, it's way different than just getting a band tee, but obviously I'm gonna buy band tees still.
Exactly.
But this is just like a little more niche and a little more creative, in just like a little extra thing for bands to work with. So I think it's so cool. I was like really blown away by the whole setup when I first met you, and I'm excited to see how all that continues in the future here.
Thank you. Me too. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I think if I work with people that are easy to work with, and it's like, I genuinely enjoy this. Like, I really love it. No matter how stressed or like how I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's like, I genuinely enjoy what I do and love what I do. And I love working with bands. I love experiencing. I love documenting. I love taking pictures, making flyers, like everything that is involved in this, I love to do. So it's just perfect. It makes me really happy and I really enjoy it. So
I totally understand the not wanting other people to get their hands on it either. Like, it's your baby. You have a certain way that you go about things, and adding someone into it can always go either way. I was like that for a while with like the label, and I got a first round of like employees, I guess, like people who were going to help me with various things, and it went very sideways very quickly. I could totally relate to that feeling. You got this. No doubt in my mind. Okay, are you ready for the 2 hardest questions you'll get on this interview?
I'm sure I've heard harder.
I guess we'll see. The first one's kind of not too bad. These are going to be the last 2 questions though for our interview, because I feel like we've done a very good job talking about you, Screaming Mei Mei's, everything that you're about. So now we're going to talk a little more about your music tastes and your thoughts on the scene. So
okay,
I typically ask these questions to every person who comes on here. What would you say your favorite part of the Central Illinois music scene is?
One of my biggest things that I love is everybody moves around. I love a little movement. I love a little dance. I love a little this and that. So that has got to be one of my favorite things. And, you know, I'm a Midwest emo girly at heart. And I feel like a lot of bands around here take elements of that or are that. And it's so good. That's probably my favorite part. And like the people, I genuinely like love the people. I do not dislike anybody, you know, like I genuinely enjoy being in the presence of these people and just like feeling everybody's energy and having a good time no matter what's going on. And that is just my favorite, like DIY till we die. And I love it. It's my fave.
Hell yeah. All right. Now this is the actual really hard question. So who is your favorite artist right now in the Central Illinois music scene?
Oh, I thought you were going to say overall, and I was going to say Algernon Cadwallader.
Oh.
Overall.
Artist or band?
Favorite artist.
Artist or band?
Okay, that's my favorite band just in general, but in Central Illinois, probably Miley Cypress Hill.
Hell yeah. And they just put out a little EP a couple months ago. Yeah, I saw that they were selling the cassettes. Really cool.
What Kai is doing with Good Morning Ghost is really cool. And he like does like everything for he's shout out Good Morning Ghost. Shout out Kai, terribly happy. But it's so cool.
Is that what's inside?
Yeah. Isn't that
That's
cool?
that's sweet.
And this is from like their first ever show, and there's like pictures of all of them. Like, it's just really cool. It's so
That is.
cute. Yeah, but probably Miley Cypress Hill, because they incorporate probably just like all my favorite music tastes, and they're really good people. So how could you not? How could you not enjoy it?
Fair enough. Well, like I said, Effie, that was our last question. Obviously, it wasn't very hard for you. You had your answers right away. So I have to stop saying that to people because apparently it's not very hard.
See, I'm
But
usually unsure. I'm usually very unsure and like, oh God, like I really don't know. So it is a hard question, both of them. But I think right now, like Miley Cypress Hill just truly is like, I think, really embodying everything that they want to do, and I think that they deserve a little bit more support from the community. And like I said, they're good guys, and I think that they deserve good things to happen to them. So
shout out to Miley Cypress Hill, fucking killer band name, by the way.
I'm waiting for them to get a cease and desist from like Cypress Hill. Like I'm like, is it legal? I don't know. I guess it's not my business, but
yeah, I guess they'll have to cross that bridge when they get there.
fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not manifesting that. I'm not
No.
manifesting that. Knock on wood.
No.
Knock on wood.
But Effie, thank you so much for spending some time with me today and talking about everything about you, Screaming Mei Mei's, and how you're combining fashion and our awesome Central Illinois music scene. I think what you're doing is awesome. And I'm so excited to be working with you. And yes, we're still not telling you. So just keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be sweet and it's going to come out this year. That's all you're getting.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you don't, too bad. You'll see it in a couple weeks. But be sure to keep up with Effie after this podcast on Instagram at EFPeaches. You can also follow her fashion, music, and community account at Screaming Mei Mei's. It is Screaming MEIMEIS. She posts all of her pieces on that page. You can see some of her past work. If you're interested in working with her, you should definitely hit her up. She has some links in her bio there for you to get her to be a vendor at your next event, as well as if you want to model for her new clothing drops. So check that out if you can. But just like that, that's our show. You've been hanging out with Clubhouse Chronicles, where the sounds are hot, the stories are hotter, and the vibes absolutely off the charts. Don't forget to hit us up at our new spot on Instagram at Club Chron Pod for all the updates, news, and more on this podcast. For all things Broken Record Music Club, we are still over at Broken Record Music Club on all socials. So you can check out our artists and all the other cool things we are up to. I'm currently just got back from Wisconsin, rocking out Cranky Pat's Pizza with Jenny Scara, which was low-key kind of fun. So
that sounds fun.
You'll see some pics coming up on our socials here soon about that. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Really appreciate it. But while you're there, if you could subscribe, maybe like the video, that would be really sweet. It really helps the channel.
Subscribe and click the bell. You get notified every time we post a video.
I'm not that dedicated to my pitch on YouTube quite yet. So maybe once we have more people who congregate on YouTube, that'd be sweet. But yeah, you could see the full video episode there if you really want to check out that piece Effie showed earlier in the episode. You could get an idea of what she's working with there. But yeah, we're going to have some other cool stuff on there. We have music videos from Jenny Scara up there. We're going to have a radio interview or two from Jenny from the past couple months. And we're also going to post a little highlight of the Secret River show that happened a couple of weeks ago in Chicago. So you can check out all that cool stuff on our YouTube channel. Please go ahead and take a peek. But until next time, keep it loud, keep it proud, and remember, Central Illinois is where the music magic happens. Peace!